Life is a mystery itself, right? How are we able to live the fullest in our own lives? How are we able to learn from life? Is it only the obstacles? Is it only the fall downs? Is it the greatness, the achievements? What is wisdom of life? How are we able to recognize and to implement the wisdom of life itself into our own life? And maybe the biggest question is, what's the reality of life? My name is Jackson. Welcome to our TTSN channel Quotes. We are hoping to inspire people over the whole wide world with sharing powerful, meaningful quotes from stoic, famous people and from our own. Of course, it's not only sharing, yeah? It's also behind the quotes we are trying to give a meaningful thought. Please do not forget to subscribe and press on the like button, yeah? For surely. We hope to see you after this video again. But the most important thing, stay humble, be always grateful for what you have, hunt your goals, hunt your dreams, and don't stop until you hunt your future you.
The rich man and his own judgment. There was a rich man, and he decided to take a walk. While he was walking, he passed by a homeless man. He thought by himself, he will definitely ask for money. He only wants money so he's able to buy alcohol, to use drugs, or to gamble. Then the rich man he entered the supermarket and saw a young lady with a baby. Unfortunately, she was unable to pay for her groceries. Immediately he thought by himself, why do all the young ladies want to become mother at such a young age, without thinking about any consequences? Later that day, he saw an old woman who needed some help, but he refused that and said to himself, when you help old people, they will always take a lot of time from you. The rich man came back to his office and saw his dad sitting in his chair. He was surprised and at the same time he was really happy to see his dad. Then the rich man spoke about what he experienced today. While his father was listening, he was not happy by all the judgment of his son, so he confronted him. I can't remember myself that I raised you up by looking down to people. You know, right, that your father was homeless before he built this everything up. And I don't hope that you forget that your mother was very young when she had you. I was barely able to provide for you both. And at the same time, grandma was extremely sick. We lived too far away to help her. She had nobody around her. And unfortunately, she passed away all alone. The rich man, he was aware of his behaviors, and he came to a realization that he forgot where he and his family came from. He decided to go back and search for everybody. Luckily, he had found them, and each of them he asked for forgiveness. He offered his help. Also, he asked them to come with him towards his company to take a rest and a moment for themselves. When they faced each other for the first time, the homeless man and the old woman, they knew each other, and they became very emotional. They started to hug each other. When the young lady saw the emotions from the homeless man and the old woman, she said, "May I ask you something? Where do you know each other from?" The homeless man, he was looking towards the old woman, and then he told his story, how it happened, how he became homeless, and how they knew each other. While the young lady heard the story from the homeless man and the old woman, she started to cry. The homeless man and the old woman felt sorry for the young lady. The young lady was looking at her baby with tears in her eyes, and she started to explain what happened with her and why she's now in this situation. While she told her story, the homeless man and the old woman, they were both in shock, and they realized that they all three are family from each other without even knowing it. A couple minutes later, the rich man entered the room and he saw the homeless man with the baby from the young lady in his arms. The homeless man, he was looking towards the rich man and said, I want to thank you that you decided to come back, that you offered your help to each and every one of us. Because of your decision, we have found each other. You have given me new life. Please, I want to introduce you to my beautiful granddaughter, Aliyah.
You know what I really love from that story was the moment from his father and the rich man, that his father had the conversation and his father brought him back with his feet on the ground, by giving him the realization, by giving him the awareness, and especially the part that he forget where he came from, where his family came from. And I really like that part. I truly love that part. If we're chasing things that are not irrelevant, then we miss the points of life. And somebody told me, listen, if you live according to judgment by other people, you will be always a prisoner. And that was for me really deep. That was for me the moment and the time that I thought by myself, okay, let me bring some principles for me to help myself better in a way of the moment when I judge. I ask myself, is it because of the insecurity? Is it because of the disbelief? Is it because of the lack of understanding? Or is it only because of my, feelings at the moment itself? Because let's be honest, right? We are humans. There was a time that I travel a lot, but I was not always there with my son. And I thought by myself, is this really good for my son? Or do I need to be more with my son? This came into my mind. Is it my own insecurity that what happened with me in the past? Am I doing the same with my son right now? But immediately I received the understanding, luckily, that it was all what I did. It was all for my son. And sometimes you have to take sacrifices, to, make a choice by doing the hard work. Some period amount of times you will not see them, or by seeing them all the time, but later on you're not able to give them what they need. And that what they need is maybe later on, where they get older, maybe then they need your advice, they need your structure, they need your guidance, they need your help. And all of what you have built before, you're now able to give them. So for me, it was insecurity. And that I saw a lot of other fathers, like they're doing a little bit better than me, because I see them all the time. But also my understanding behind that, Jackson, you don't know how many times the father is with his own son or daughter. You don't know because you didn't ask the father. And I'm not saying that when you recognize it by yourself, you need to go towards that person and ask him, hey, how many times do you spend with your son or with your daughter? That's not what I'm saying. Don't open your mind for that insecurity. This is just an example for myself, but I truly know that all of you who are watching has also that similar example. Maybe not with a father, or maybe you're a mother, or maybe with, it doesn't matter, a job, or it doesn't matter. Now the other thing, disbelief. Sometimes when you are trying to figure something out, your purpose, your goal, and then what happens most of the time, we are checking on the social media and we see a lot of great results from many people. But then we open our mind again by having the thoughts. Do you see? For them, it's quite easy. I have no any capabilities to achieve or to reach my goals. Do you see? This person, that person has already achieved this car, has already achieved this house, has already achieved this relationship, has already achieved this lifestyle. So what will happen then? That this belief into your own goal, into your own dreams, into your own capabilities, into your own qualities, it will lack. Only because you are watching, because you see. But as the quote said, everything we see is in perspective, it's not the truth. So do not bring that disbelief into your mind. Many things will pop up in your mind, and that disbelief will become stronger and stronger and stronger. So please don't feed that insecurity and do not feed that disbelief. The same thing with the lack of understanding. So now I truly like that part, the lack of understanding. That's the part from Reading books is not just reading books. It is gaining knowledge. And that knowledge, what you gain, you have then something what nobody's able to take it from you. I truly believe that is true. And you don't have to do it only with books. It's also by, telling stories, hanging out with people who are wiser than you in something what you want to achieve. Either to become a great dancer, either to become a multimillionaire, either to become a great father, a great mother, then hang out with the people who are better than you. And that is also really important, because we can judge that multimillionaire, we can judge the mother, the great mother, or you have to bring yourself in that environment. Because then you walk that certain process where they walk, right? And that's with reading books, that's with a lot of things. And I truly like that point. The feelings. I truly believe that the feelings is maybe quite of the most dangerous part. Let me give you an example. When something is going not well in your relationship, and you hear other people talking quite happy about the relationship, your judgment is immediately like, oh, you think that you have a better life than me. Or like in a work, when your work is not quite going well, and you hear somebody's talking a lot about his own work, what's going well, then you think, hey, maybe I have to go towards there. Maybe I have to go where he is. Maybe I have to do what he's doing. So we have to help ourselves to not open our mind by the insecurity, by the disbelief, by the lack of understanding, and by the feelings. Before we judge, please gain the power. Create that principles for yourself and turn that all into some positive side. So I hope behind the meaning of the quote that you are now able to help yourself by only the part of the judgment towards other people, judgment also towards yourself. I hope this will give you more strength, this will give you more belief, self-confidence. I hope that you are able, even if you are good at it, but if you recognize by somebody else that somebody is struggling with the judgment, that somebody is, try to help each other, try to share with each other, try to talk with each other. Because one thing is for sure, nobody became successful in what they want without any help. Everybody needs somebody.